Hi, and welcome to Flourish and Flow. I'm Amy Rohrer, your host, owner, and yoga teacher at the Yoga Hut in Tilsonburg, here to help you connect and integrate the dots to true wellness on your healthy living journey. We're here today at Breeze Fresh Market, located in Ostrander. They are one of our show sponsors. So a big thank you to Brianne and Kyle for having us here to shoot our show. Also, a big thank you to our additional show sponsors, Laura from Escape Salon and Spa, and Jen from Hometown Styles in Ingersoll. On today's episode, we're joined by certified equine facilitator and Reiki practitioner, Alisha Wilson. She is from Transitions Equine Assisted Learning near Tavistock, Ontario. She grew up with horses and always had a personal experience of how profound and meaningful a connection with one of these amazingly wonderful animals can be, and believes that they not only helped shape who she is today, but saved her life. In 2020, after several years in leadership in the corporate world, Alisha was graced with a rare opportunity to pursue her passions and have a positive impact on others. And that's where Transitions was officially born. Welcome to the show, Alisha. So happy to have you here today. So tell me a little bit more about growing up with horses and how that helped to shape who you are today.
Yeah, so I've been around horses for as long as I can remember. It's been a family passion. I'm generation number 4. My daughter will be generation number 5.
Yeah.
And ever since I was really little, they've always been my safe space, my secret keepers, my best friends, the animals that really listened to me when I felt like I was having maybe a bit of a struggle, or even when I wasn't having a bit of a struggle, and there was never any judgment, right? So that's really where it kind of all started.
Yeah.
I rode horses, we trained horses, we competed, we've done everything under the sun with horses. And I had an old mare who hurt herself, and she no longer had a riding career anymore. And I was like, well, what can we do different that we could she still had a purpose herself, and kind of tie that into helping other people as well. So that's kind of how this all blossomed.
And then 2020 hit, and that was an impactful time for you and many people. How did you shift from the corporate world into your passion and make that your career?
Yeah, so 2020 actually kind of caught me by surprise. I was not expecting to have my corporate position redundant. It was something that I had built for the 10 years previous, and expected to be doing it for a long time. But because I had this huge passion for horses, and we were still with them every day, and we were still doing things with them, it kind of just spurred it gave me a swift kick in the rear end, for lack of better terms, to actually go after my passion, and really dive deep into what that would look like to help people. So that's when I started doing my research, and I looked into equine assisted learning, and I found Dreamwinds, and I got my certification.
Wow. Yeah. And at that point, how many horses did you have?
2.
Okay. You already had your farm?
I had 2. I already had the farm.
Okay.
I wasn't doing anything with them except for brushing them and letting them be pasture pups.
Yeah.
I was working for another facility, and I was actually teaching riding lessons there, and decided in 2021 to bring it home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And so tell me a little bit more now about how Transitions was born, what it looks like, what some of the services are.
Yeah.
Your beautiful, creation that you gifted the world.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Transitions Equine Assisted Learning officially started at home in April of 2021. That's when I completed my certification. And that's really when I took a really deep dive into what do I want to show the world. So Equine Assisted Learning is an experience-based approach to learning leadership and life skills with horses. And I've taken that a step further, I should say, because instead of just doing the leadership and life skills, we also have a wellness aspect to it as well. So meditation, mindfulness. I'm a Reiki master, so we also do Reiki with the horses, which is not something that you see too prominently around the area.
That's unique.
Yeah. So we kind of added that in. And then more recently this year, We've really looked at doing more collaborative type of things. So Ponies and Pottery with the Kiln Room out of Woodstock, absolutely fantastic. I love that collaboration. It's amazing. 2 pieces of pottery in my workshop and a piece of pottery out with the horses in the field. It's relaxing, it's fun, it's insightful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. We have a gift shop where we also have all natural products, and we keep that in. That's something new that we've started doing this year. So we have businesses like the Healing Barn, who does all natural skincare and hair.
With Megan.
Yeah, with Megan. Yeah. So we have her stuff in our shop. We have Wild Comfort in our shop. So we really just try and keep it, all natural. And the vision that I have is for when people come, I don't want them to feel like they ever want to leave.
Yeah, it's a one-stop wellness experience.
Yeah, come and treat yourself and nurture yourself and your family, your friends, whoever you bring with you.
Mm-hmm.
We do ladies' nights and date nights, also amazingly fun. And those are 2 to 2.5 hours long. You get a charcuterie box from Country Time Charcuterie and refreshments. You get to sit by the fire, enjoy the sunset, hang out with the horses. It's very impactful. It's very, very good.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so wonderful. And I know a few of the other things. I think you mentioned there is like a social worker, psychotherapy.
Yeah. I have Bonnie Taylor Counseling. She comes out and she does actual therapy with horses or without horses, however you'd like it done. So that way we get a broad, it's an all-inclusive space. That way we can have everybody out. There's no barriers, no boundaries.
And you have a family as well.
I do, yes.
And I believe you have 2 kids.
Yes.
Your husband.
Yes.
And you had mentioned that they kind of have their own roles as well. Like, how are they a part of transitions?
My daughter is my little mini-me, my sidekick. She really is very much at the forefront and next to me 90% of the time when we're doing things. My husband and my son are more in the background. They do some of the heavier work for us. Such as making sure that our fences are in good repair and that the shelters are good and everybody's well looked after as well. So,
all right. So it's a whole family.
It's a family affair.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to be back with Alisha after this short break to chat some more. So welcome back to the show. We're joined today by Alisha Wilson from Transitions, Equine Assisted Learning. And before the episode, you shared about some of the services that you offer, but there's also some specific unique programs that you offer. And one of them is working with youth. That's something that you're passionate about. If you could tell me a little bit more about your youth leadership program and how that transpired.
So our youth leadership program is actually one of my signature services. It's one of the things that I started out with because there's a very big gap in youth programming that is attainable for people across Oxford County or wherever they're coming from. So our youth leadership program really focuses on developing things like communication, appropriate boundary setting, trust, teamwork, accountability, all of the things that are required to become a successful adult later on down the road. That's where we're really focusing our efforts in this youth leadership program. It really is a whole lot about self-awareness as well. When we become more aware of self, we're better able to be more aware of our surroundings and how we're coming out in the world.
Yeah, and how we connect with others.
That's right.
As well. So it is stemmed from a 12 building block curriculum?
Correct, yeah. Okay. It's a 12 building block curriculum. So there's 12 different obstacles or exercises that we go through. And we start at what we call starting the journey, which is where we really build on our soft skills, building relationships, what that looks like, and we move all the way up through that full leadership experience, where by the end of the curriculum, the kids are actually able to build us obstacles and have us go through the obstacles safely, effectively, and we also learn something because kids have a much broader horizon, I guess, when they're using their minds, right? we don't give kids enough credit.
Yes. Yeah, they can definitely be our teachers.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long is the program? Does it run like on a weekly basis for these 12 themes? Like how fast would they move through the program?
So during the summer, I have a full week-long camp.
Okay.
Where they would actually get through the 12 exercises in a week's time. And in the fall, we start where it's a 5-week program. So 2 hours an evening, once a week, and we go through the entire curriculum. And at the end of it, they all get a little certificate, and it's all...
Oh, very cool.
Everybody's happy.
Okay, so this is fall time when we're recording.
Yeah.
So you're kind of gearing up.
Yeah.
Another program. And out of those 12 topics, I'm just curious if there's a few that you want to speak more about, or if there's a particular theme that is your favorite teaching, or that really seems to land well.
I would have to say my favorite topic comes down to the whole communication piece, because with cell phones and technology these days, communication seems to be lacking, both in adults and in youth. The communication piece really is nice because one of the obstacles that we have is called silent communication. So there's no speaking at all. It's all based on body language and how you're approaching your horse and your teammates in trying to deliver a message, right? And I would have to say that's probably one of the most impactful things. It's where I see the most self-realization come in amongst the kids, because they're like, oh wow, if I approach somebody and I'm all like this, right, that can be a little intimidating. Whereas if I'm a little softer about it, or I take a different approach, maybe I'll get my point across a little easier. So it's really actually very neat to see. I had a kid who came out to do the 12-week program, and she started the obstacle, was doing fantastic, rock star all the way through until we got to about obstacle number 3, and I noticed that her body language changed a little bit, but her pony picked up on it before I did. And so the pony started to turn into a bully. And at that point I stopped and I said, so tell me what the difference was between obstacle 1 and obstacle 3. What happened? What happened? And she said, well, the first obstacle was really easy, but as time went on, I was less confident in myself, she said. And I said, well, your pony picked up on that and he kind of turned into a bully, right? I said, so let's try again. And she stopped, and like this look came on her face, and she's like, oh, is that why I get bullied on the playground? Like,
because you didn't know.
No, we had no idea. And her parents were actually there, and they heard this and they were like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that just came out of her mouth. So we worked through it, and she has been awesome. She has not had a problem since.
Wow.
Because she was able to realize, like, oh my goodness, if I walk out onto the playground and I'm like, all fine for the first 10 minutes, but then somebody says something, or I think somebody's saying something behind my back, it kind of hits my confidence a little bit, and then
other kids might pick up on that.
Other kids pick up on that, and then it's easy target.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. So how many kids are in the program?
We can go anywhere from 2 all the way up to 12. Okay. I feel like that's a really good number. I try not to get more than 12, because I don't think that they get out of the program what they need any more than that. With the counselors and myself, we have enough bodies that we can give them more one-on-one attention.
Right. And I'm just curious. I was like, it's kind of cool to just picture the program and how it works.
Yeah.
So is it all work with the horses, or is there certain parts like, where you're off the field?
No, it's all integrated with the horses, because the horses are really the stars of the show when it comes to that. We as facilitators sit back and kind of ask the questions, the open-ended questions to get people thinking. The horses are the ones who are providing the feedback. It's our job to watch the feedback and get people to realize that, hey, if I take a step back and I look at this from a different angle, maybe I have to think outside of the box a little different.
Yeah, horses are so amazing as far as like what they're aware of and how they connect with humans.
Amazingly, and they provide immediate, non-judgmental feedback, and that's why they are so good for this program.
Yeah. Because
you can have a bad moment with a horse, and 2 seconds later they're like, hey, where's my treat?
That's beautiful. I went to something similar a long time ago, and it's just bringing up some of those memories as far as we had to set some intentions, and then we went out into the pasture, I guess you would say, and just to observe what would happen.
Yeah.
And these big Clydesdale horses kind of came and surrounded me, and I felt like just their supports, and like how you might be a little scared to think like these big horses are coming up to you, but it wasn't scary at all. It was actually I remember being a little emotional, just feeling their presence and support, and like they were there to help. Take care.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Any other, a special success story or powerful moment that comes to mind?
There are several. I would have to say that the story I just shared with you is one of the first stories where it was like, okay, I know I'm where I need to be, right? This is where I need to be. I've had other people come out. I have a young lady who comes out who was injured in a car accident, and there's a specific horse that she works with 90% of the time, and the one day he just wasn't having it, so we kind of let her choose who was going to work with her that day, and it turned out to be Thunder, who's my big guy there, and it was really special to watch how he was able to kind of support her through the different obstacles, even given her mobility issues.
Right.
And it was really powerful. It's always very powerful to watch.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Alisha. There's more to talk about, so we're not letting you go just yet.
Okay.
We will be back after this short break to chat some more.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Flourish and Flow. We're here today with Alisha Wilson from Transitions, and you had mentioned when we chatted before the show that you also are a animal Reiki facilitator, but also a Reiki master.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that. We had someone on the show in the past who does Reiki, but I know that it probably looks a little bit different. So you give people the choice of whether they want the animal support, or it might just be one-on-one with you, but yeah, kind of what you want to share about that.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what Reiki is, it's a Japanese technique of energy healing. I personally don't place hands on, it's always just hands above, and I give people the option. You may have Reiki as a traditional Reiki session in our space, or you can have Reiki done with the horses present. And the way that works is if you choose to have the horses present with you, we go out to the paddock. The horses have the option to join us or to kind of be a little bit from afar. 90% of the time we get at least one. Sometimes we get them all. It all depends on the day and the person that happens to be on my table. It's really neat to watch because Reiki is just very powerful in itself, but then you add the horses to it and it almost adds another level of Zen, which is why I call it Equizen, because the horses, sometimes the horses will just kind of be mulling around a little bit off to the side. There are many times where the horses will come up. I have them put their heads on the person's head, or I'll have them put their head on their chest, or right, and then we just we let them kind of facilitate it themselves, I guess, a little bit while I'm still doing Reiki. Obviously, it's to everybody's comfort level. So if you're not comfortable having horses that close to you while you're laying down, which can be scary to some people, then we'll make adjustments.
Maybe starting. That sounds so powerful, though. I kind of get the chills just thinking about it, because I've done Reiki, and just imagining that extra layer of like support of the horse there. Yeah, so cool. Do most people choose to try it with the horse? Yeah,
actually, I have yet to have somebody decide to do just a traditional Reiki session. So in the wintertime, it'll be, I think, a little bit different because I don't have an indoor space to do Reiki with horses. But the horses will still be involved because we'll be able to go out and interact with the horses ahead of time before we start our session, do our session, and then go back out and interact with them again after the session.
I'm just thinking maybe you need like a little window and they can just to the space. And how can people get in touch if they want to learn more about these programs and come check out the farm?
So they can find us on social media. On Instagram, we're transitions_EAL. On Facebook, we're Transitions Encompassing Wellness. you can visit our website, which is www.transitionseq.ca, or you can also send me a call or a text message at 226-386-5505.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, and something fun that we do to end the show is called the lightning round. So just some fun pop questions for people to get to know you better. Just first answer that comes to mind.
Okay.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Yeah. What do you take in your coffee?
Double.
Okay. Morning, noon, or night?
Ooh, night. Yeah. I'm a night owl. Yeah.
Is your husband?
Yes.
Okay, well, you're both on the same page. If you were a superhero, what would your power be?
Oh, that's invisibility.
Okay. And why so?
I don't even know, actually. Probably so that I could spy on my kids.
Just see what
maybe.
Your favorite thing about being a mom?
Watching my children grow and watching them learn to become responsible adults. I think they're both great kids. Yeah, I think that's my favorite thing.
The one food you couldn't go without?
My dad's lasagna, hands down.
Sounds delicious.
Like Garfield the cat, absolutely.
Your favorite feel-good song?
Ooh, I probably Cheap Thrills by Sia.
Okay. I like you had that right there. Some people are like, oh, I don't know which song. Your favorite place to visit in Oxford County?
My favorite place to visit in Oxford County? There are too many. There are a lot.
Good ones. Or a couple.
Real Treats.
Okay.
Downtown Woodstock. Jarful Refillery. Also very good. Pittock Conservation Area.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. Great spots. Advice for someone wanting to make their passion a career like you did?
Hang on for the ride. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. It has challenges, but as long as you're up for the challenges, it's absolutely worth it. 150%.
If you had a time machine, where would you go?
I'd probably go back to my childhood farm.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. The ponies, my grandparents, my grandmother used to make some pretty crazy food. Lots of nostalgic, yeah.
Okay. The legacy you want to leave for your kids?
I want them to be left with, knowing that their mom followed her passion, and her passion wasn't for selfish reasons, that it was to help other people, and I hope that they can take a bit of that with them as well.
Well, great path that you're setting, an example for them. So something I truly believe, and the show is called Flourish and Flow, but I believe that there's no one linear path to flourishing. Everyone has their unique path. So I'm curious, what does living a flourishing life mean to you?
Living a flourishing life means to me that I'm living my purpose every day, that even if one person walks out of my farm feeling more connected, more grounded, I've done a good job.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And again, how can people get in touch and learn more?
Yeah, they can get us at social media at transitions_EAL on Instagram. They can find us on Facebook at Transitions Encompassing Wellness, and at our website at www.transitionseq.ca.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Alisha, for joining us here today. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
And I think you're doing amazing work in our community.
Thank you.
I'm for certain interested in coming and checking out the farm, and definitely want to try the Reiki with horses. Good. And it just kind of popped into my mind. I'm curious, can people just stop in? I know my son would love to come see the horses. Do you have days like that where people can
Sunday, usually it's one Sunday a month, but I'm gonna, for the rest of the year, it'll be open on Sundays for pop-ins.
Okay.
Between noon and 3.
Okay. All right. And you're located just outside of Tavistock?
That's right, on Maplewood Side Road.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alisha, for joining me here today and all the amazing work you're doing in our community. I'm excited to continue to see where you go from here. And on behalf of our show sponsors, a big thank you to Bree and Kyle from Bree's Fresh Market, Laura from Escape Salon and Spa, and Jen from Hometown Styles. May you continue to flourish and find your flow.